It's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Friday, July 29th. So the moon is still in Leo energy. We're still in the new moon Leo energy. And for the most part, intentions are key. We are supposed to be aligning with our heart space, with our head space, infusing the dreams, the goals, the vision with an emotion that actually feels excited and passionate about actually seeing some of these dreams and visions come into fruition, because that, my friends, is the very first stage on how we manifest. This moon in Leo, very fiery, very proud, very loving. We're getting raw, we're getting vulnerable, we're getting authentic with ourselves. We are expressing our emotions, our thoughts, our ideas on a totally different level. And we are aligning with the potential of our dreams if we were to just get out of our way. Now, the lessons of the new moon in Leo are still very dominant. Go ahead, listen to that astro forecast if you haven't already. But we are fired up in all the right ways. We are just ablazing, and we have some aspects here today that will pop off and maybe create a little bit of spark, a little bit of excitement in our mental plane and give us a little bit of direction. Now, there are 10 different aspects here today, and 7 of them involve the moon. But first, we have Mercury in Leo making a very, very harmonious interaction with Neptune, who, of course, is retrograde in Pisces. This is a beautiful energy for us to channel our dreams, for us to catch a vision, to catch a dream, and to be creative enough to actually allow our intuition, our higher selves, to bring that energy down into our physical body, into the mental plane that Mercury rules over, and we're actually able to get constructive and creative with how it is that we're going to bring some of these elements to life. We are definitely blending our logical, practical, egoic mental plane with our higher selves, with our intuition, with our dreams, with our creativity. And this should definitely be sparking a new passion, a new desire within us in order for us to shift gears and actually follow a path, a strategy in order to bring some of these elements to life. But at the same time, Mercury is squaring the true node. A square is a tension point. It's a conflict point. The true node is our soul's path, our destiny's point. And this particular situation would kind of show us that, yeah, we're fired up, we're excited, we're passionate, but we don't know what the next step is. We know we have to kind of formulate a plan in order to move forward, but we don't know what that is. This can create tension, of course, because we're confused. We want to take action. We want to see changes. We want to move ahead, but we don't know the right way to do so. Mars is going to kind of get into the mix. Mars, of course, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires. He is in Taurus energy, a fixed earth sign. So we are going lower and slower than we would prefer. We're not seeing as much progress as we would like. And this particular energy, because of the interaction that it's making with Chiron, the wounded healer, would suggest that there is a situation going to pop off in our exterior realms that we do not have control over that might frustrate the F out of us, might irritate us. Why? Well, because Chiron, the wounded healer, is retrograde in Aries, showing us where it is that certain situations popping off in our external realm are kind of rubbing us the wrong way. It's going against everything that we stand for. It's going against our ego, our identity. We don't really see a lot of progress, and this is like salt in the wound. We are going to be very impatient, very frustrated, very irritable with situations or people who seem to be blocking our progress. And what we may find is that we are the ones blocking ourselves, which means that there's an inner conflict that could possibly pop off in recognizing that we need to get out of our own way. The moon in Leo is bumping into Venus. Venus, of course, in Cancer energy, very hypersensitive, very defensive, very protective, recognizing where it is that we need to nurture ourselves, do a little bit of healing work on ourselves, where it is we need to create some boundaries within our home and our family dynamics in order to protect ourselves. And it is likely that whatever situation popped off earlier, really frustrating and irritating us, showing us who or what is blocking us and moving forward, the moon is just going to be fired up and, of course, kind of feed into this irritation and this frustration. And we might see an angry lion emerge, especially when it comes to figuring out what it is that we actually want, need, and desire for ourselves, and recognizing who and what is preventing us from actually getting the things that we want, need, and desire. The moon will be trining Chiron. A trine is a good aspect. It does mean that after this funk, after this activation, this trigger popping off, that we do have to kind of come to some kind of realization on what needs to be done, what needs to heal, what we have to fix. Just as Chiron illuminates for us the wounds, it also gives us the wisdom and the resources within ourselves in order to heal said wounds. The moon being in Leo means that we're fired up, we're passionate, we're bold, we're brave, we're courageous, and we're more eager to take on some of the obstacles and challenges that are preventing us from actually getting to where it is that we desire to be a lot easier and with a lot more grace and confidence than we would have had even a couple of days ago. Here's where things get a little bit uncomfortable, though. The moon goes ahead and squares Mars, squares Uranus, then squares the true node. This is setting us up for a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of irritability. Now, what will come out of the moon squaring Mars is, yes, frustration, irritability, and seeing where it is that blockages and challenges are really ticking us off. But what should come out of that, and what should be revealed, is a new level of inspiration and motivation to push through the blockages, to push through the challenges, to not let anything really stop and prevent us from moving forward. We do have to keep in mind, though, that Mars, being in Taurus, needs to unearth some qualities and characteristics in our self-esteem, in our self-confidence, our self-worth, our self-value that is preventing us from truly standing in our power and going after said desires. The square with Uranus is likely going to add a lot of energy, a lot of electricity to our central nervous system, make us feel on edge, make us feel wired, make us feel like we got ants in our pants. We're a little bit shaky. There's a lot of processing going on in our mental plane and in our heart space. We're receiving huge amounts of downloads, huge amounts of insight that we may not even recognize at this point, let alone be able to make sense of and interpret. But that higher octave, that higher intelligence that Uranian energy taps into is bringing a lot of electricity into our physical bodies and into our emotions. This, of course, is setting us up for the moon squaring the true node. We have a conflict. We don't know what we want to do. We don't know the direction. We don't know the path. This is emotionally charged. We're confused. We feel like we're having a little bit of a cluster F in our head and in our heart space. We don't know how to get them on the same page, and therefore we don't know how to plan. We don't know how to maneuver. We don't know how to strategize. The baby step, the big leap, the big jolt forward. We're confused on the direction that we have to take. The moon at this time makes a very harmonious aspect with Neptune, and this is going to help us get back on the same page. Why? Because our intuition is strong. We are tapping into the higher realms of our imagination, of our dream, of our higher self. We are gaining intuitive insight. We are reminding ourselves of the dream and the vision that we want so badly to manifest because, of course, our heart and soul, we're in Leo season, our heart and soul is in control, is taking the lead. We have to align with our true, raw, vulnerable self, with our true passion, our true desire, with what makes us happy and excited. And sometimes when we get too grounded, too stuck in the ego, too stuck in the physical realm, our environment, our circumstances dictate that our dreams are not possible. This particular interaction, this particular aspect is going to remind us from the higher level of intelligence, our higher selves, our intuition, that, you know what, we can't pay attention to our physical realm. We can't let our ego dictate for us what is possible. We have to trust in ourselves, in our gut, in our feelings, in the universe's plan. In order for us to actually grasp a vision and dream and infuse it with that excitement, with that vibration, that love, that frequency that is going to bring it to life, and trust that it will come to life regardless of what our ego, our mental plane, our circumstances may currently dictate. Now we're going to wrap the day up with the moon conjunct, sitting next to, bumping into Mercury, who is also in Leo energy. This is beautiful because this gives us a chance to actually align our heart with our head. The moon being our heart, Mercury being our head, both of them in Leo, the heart and soul of the zodiac. This is an alignment, and especially coming out of the moon, bumping into Neptune, aligning us with our higher self, with the vision, with the dream, with the intuitive insight, with our soul insight that we know what is possible for us as long as we align with that dream and that vision and we don't let our egoic selves break it down and tear it apart. This particular aspect of the moon and Mercury teaming up is getting our heart and head on the same page. We're tapping into that boldness. We're tapping into that bravery, to that courage. We're tapping into that passion. We're tapping into that desire. And we are really confident and optimistic that whatever we set our mind and heart to is what we will be bringing to life.